We kick things off with the World Cup, where the United States has moved on to the round of 16 after defeating Iran 1-0. Yes, it's such an amazing win for them. It means that they go to the next round and they now get to say Iran instead of Iran. In Hawaii, the world's largest active volcano has just begun erupting for the first time in 38 years, which is a shame. Another brother fallen during No Nut November. It was so close, man. It was so close. In other science news, researchers have now reanimated a so-called zombie virus that has lain dormant under the Arctic ice for nearly 50,000 years. Yeah. Now, the good news is that Joe Biden is immune. He already had it as a kid. And I know a lot of people are worried. They're like, why are we doing this? It's dangerous to mess with viruses this way. But think about it, people. It's actually pretty smart because these viruses are eventually going to emerge anyway when the ice caps melt. So the quicker we can learn about them, the quicker we can make a vaccine that no one will take. Oh, and in some legal news, a Florida woman is suing Kraft Foods over its microwave mac and cheese, arguing that while the box says it's ready in 3.5 minutes, that doesn't include the amount of time it takes to add the water and then wait for the sauce to thicken. And you can laugh, but she's right. I mean, the box doesn't even include the time it takes for me to cry over the fact that I have to eat Kraft mac and cheese for dinner. That's another 45 minutes. And you know, stories like this make you think about, it must be so hard for the lawyer who works on a case like this to discuss their work with their peers, you know? They're just sitting in a room, it's like, I'm working on a case to protect the right to abortion in the South. It's like, yeah, I'm working on a case to shut down a company that's been poisoning the water of poor communities. How about you, Alan? It's like, well, you know how sometimes mac and cheese takes longer to make than you expect? All right, well, let's move on to some of the biggest stories of the day. Starting with the ongoing firestorm facing Donald Trump, former president and host of the most disturbing dinner since the one Jeffrey Dahmer had. Last week, Trump ate dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Kanye West and a prominent white supremacist named Nick Fuentes. And we don't know exactly what happened at that dinner, except that nobody ordered latkes. But apparently, a lot of Republicans don't think it's a great look for the leader of their party to be splitting apps with neo-Nazis.
Donald Trump facing growing backlash to his dinner last week with prominent white nationalist Nick Fuentes. Republican politicians now among those calling out the former president.
I think it's been clear that there's no bottom to the degree to which President Trump will degrade himself and the nation.
Well, I think he can make better choices, obviously.
That was a bad decision. There's no place for that in the Republican Party.
President Trump was wrong to give a white nationalist, an anti-Semite, and a Holocaust denier a seat at the table. And I think he should apologize for it, and he should denounce those individuals and their hateful rhetoric without qualification.
Let me just say that there is no room in the Republican Party for anti-Semitism or white supremacy.
That's right, there's no room at all because we're already full. Yeah. I mean, we do have room for someone who hates Dothrakis, but that would be a new one. You know, it's so funny watching Republicans try to chastise Trump for hanging out with someone who has the exact same views as him without chastising Trump for having those views, right? Because here's the thing, I'm willing to believe that Trump didn't know who Nick Fuentes was when he came to his dinner. As Trump says, I'm willing to believe that. But you've got to admit, it says a lot about him that he enjoyed this man's company and everything that he had to say, right? Like if your friend brings Darth Vader to your house for dinner, that's not your fault. But 15 minutes in, any decent person would be like, I'm not comfortable with how much this guy talks about blowing up planets. Also, why is he wearing a mask? We've all been tested.